Beneath our feet lies an invisible world of constant communication. Plant roots are not simple passive structures that merely absorb water and nutrients. They are, in fact, active and sophisticated systems that communicate with each other in ways science is only beginning to understand. When roots from different plants meet in the soil, they do not simply coexist. They exchange chemical information through specialized molecules that travel through the soil. These signals can warn about pests, droughts, or diseases. A plant that detects a threat can send chemical messages to its neighbors, allowing them to prepare defensively before danger reaches them. But communication goes further. Roots can also transfer nutrients between plants. When one plant has an abundance of certain elements, it can share them with others that need them. This exchange is not random. It appears to be directed, as if plants had a collective survival strategy. Scientists have discovered that this root communication system is incredibly complex. Roots can distinguish between different types of chemical molecules, interpret their meaning, and respond appropriately. It is a chemical language that has evolved over millions of years. This underground network of communication fundamentally changes our understanding of how plants perceive and respond to their environment. And this is only the beginning, because it turns out that plants have many more ways of interacting with the world than we ever imagined. We just discovered how roots communicate beneath the soil, but plant intelligence extends far beyond the ground. Plants also possess the remarkable ability to detect and respond to sound vibrations in their surrounding environment. When we say plants here, we're not talking about ears like ours. Instead, plants have specialized receptors capable of capturing sound waves and converting them into chemical signals they can interpret. These mechanisms allow them to respond to different frequencies present in their surroundings. Researchers have discovered that sound vibrations can directly affect plant growth. Certain sounds stimulate the development of more robust roots, while others can alter how a plant allocates its energy resources. This suggests that sound is not merely background noise, but valuable information that plants process constantly. Even more surprisingly, different plant species respond in distinct ways to the same vibrations. Some accelerate their growth in response to certain sounds, while others slow their metabolic processes. It's as if each species has its own preferred sonic language. This ability to detect vibrations likely evolved as a survival mechanism. Plants can anticipate changes in their environment, from the arrival of insects to approaching storms, simply by interpreting acoustic signals. And this leads us to wonder, what other surprising senses do plants possess that we haven't yet fully discovered? Imagine a forest where trees are not alone, but connected through an invisible network of cooperation. Beneath the soil lies a fascinating reality. Trees share nutrients with one another through a network of microscopic fungi called mycorrhizae. This connection works like an intelligent distribution system. When a tree has an abundance of nutrients in one area, it channels them to other trees that need them. A mature tree can transfer carbohydrates to young trees that don't yet receive enough sunlight. Even trees of different species collaborate in this exchange. What's most surprising is that this system appears to discriminate. Trees don't share with just anyone. They prioritize their own offspring and the nearest neighboring trees. It's as if they recognize their family and give them preference in resource distribution. This behavior challenges our traditional understanding of competition in nature. Trees don't just fight to survive, they cooperate strategically. The mycorrhizal network acts like a nervous system for the forest, allowing thousands of trees to function as a collective organism. This capacity to share and distribute resources suggests that trees possess a form of adaptive intelligence. But plant intelligence doesn't stop here. Some plants have developed even more direct responses to their environment. We've already seen how plants communicate underground and respond to environmental stimuli. But there's something even more remarkable. Plants can actually recognize their own relatives. In studies conducted with plants of the species Cyclic, researchers discovered that when two plants grow together, a plant can distinguish whether the other is a genetic sister or a stranger. How does it do this? Through chemical and molecular signals emitted by the roots. When a plant recognizes a close relative, it adjusts its behavior. It reduces competition for resources, allowing its sister to access more water and nutrients. It's as if the plant is saying, "You're family, so let's cooperate." This recognition is no accident. Plants have developed a sophisticated genetic identification system that allows them to distinguish relatives from competitors. When growing next to a stranger, the plant intensifies its struggle for resources. But with a relative, the strategy shifts completely toward cooperation. This suggests that plants have a form of genetic memory that allows them to identify their relatives, a mechanism that challenges our traditional understanding of what it means to be intelligent in the plant kingdom. And speaking of recognition and orientation, there exists a plant that takes this to the next level, the sunflower, which doesn't just respond to light, but does so in such a precise and coordinated way that it seems almost impossible. So far we have seen how plants communicate underground, how they listen to vibrations, and how they recognize their relatives. But there exists a plant that shows us something equally fascinating, the ability to follow the sun's movement with mathematical precision. We are talking about the sunflower. During the day, young sunflowers perform a continuous movement from east to west, following the sun's trajectory. During the night, they reverse this movement, rotating from west to east, so that at dawn their flowers face the sunrise once again. This phenomenon is called heliotropism, and it is driven by plant hormones called auxins that regulate cell growth. The mechanism is surprisingly elegant. Cells on the stem exposed to light grow more slowly than those in shadow, causing the stem to bend toward the sun. But there is more. As the sunflower matures, this movement slows down and finally stops, leaving the flower permanently oriented toward the east. This final orientation is not random. By facing east, the sunflower captures sunlight during the early morning hours, when photosynthesis is most efficient. The flowers warm up quickly in the morning, which attracts pollinating insects. Additionally, this position protects the flowers from the intense midday heat, preserving their moisture and reproductive capacity. Sunflowers oriented to the east produce larger seeds with higher oil content, a perfect survival strategy. And while the sunflower masters solar movement, other plants have developed equally sophisticated responses to touch. Imagine a plant that reacts to the slightest touch, closing its leaves in a fraction of a second. This is the Mimosa pudica, and its behavior is one of the most fascinating examples of plant intelligence ever documented. For decades, scientists assumed this response was simply an automatic reflex, like blinking in humans. But deeper research revealed something far more complex. The Mimosa pudica is capable of learning. In experiments conducted by neuroscientist Stefano Mancuso, the pot containing the plant was repeatedly dropped. At first, the mimosa closed its leaves each time, as if sensing imminent danger. But after several impacts, something extraordinary happened. The plant stopped closing its leaves. It had learned to differentiate between a harmless fall and a real threat. Most remarkably, this memory persisted for 2 months. Even weeks later, without stimuli, the plant remembered the lesson it had learned. This is not a simple reflex. It is genuine plant cognition. This ability to learn and remember shows us that intelligence does not require a centralized brain. The Mimosa pudica processes information, makes decisions, and retains knowledge. And if one plant can do this with touch, what other forms of perception and intelligent response might be happening silently throughout the plant world? So far we have seen how plants communicate, recognize their relatives, and respond to environmental stimuli. But there exists a group of plants that takes this intelligence to a completely different level: carnivorous plants. These plants not only perceive their environment, but they perform sophisticated calculations to optimize their energy. Let's take the Venus flytrap as an example. This plant possesses an extraordinary mechanism. Its leaves close when they detect movement. But here comes the fascinating part. The plant does not close its traps at the first touch. The Venus flytrap counts. It needs to detect 2 or more touches within a specific period to confirm that it is actually a prey and not simply a branch or a raindrop. This counting is an act of cognitive evaluation. The plant is literally deciding whether it is worth investing the energy necessary to close the trap and digest its prey. This behavior demonstrates that carnivorous plants do not respond automatically to stimuli. They evaluate, calculate, and make decisions based on the information they receive. It is a perfect example of how plant intelligence can manifest itself in ways that challenge our traditional understanding of thought and decision-making. But plant intelligence goes far beyond mechanical traps. There exists a silent yet powerful language that connects all the plants in the forest. So far we have seen how plants communicate through their roots, how they listen to vibrations, and how they recognize their relatives. But there exists another equally fascinating communication channel that occurs silently in the air: the chemical communication of the forest. When a plant is attacked by insects or faces a threat, it does not stay silent. It releases volatile chemical signals that travel through the air to its neighbors. These chemical compounds act as a natural alarm system, warning other plants about impending danger. Receiving plants capture these molecules and, surprisingly, interpret the message. They understand not only that a threat exists, but also what type of threat it is. When they receive this warning, they activate their own defense mechanisms before being attacked, preparing themselves chemically to resist. This network of chemical communication is so sophisticated that it allows plants to share specific information. A plant attacked by caterpillars releases a different chemical profile than one affected by fungi. Its neighbors distinguish these differences and adjust their defenses with precision. Most extraordinarily, this communication is not limited to plants of the same species. Different types of plants warn each other, creating a true chemical safety network in the forest. An information sharing system that has functioned for millions of years. This capacity for chemical communication leads us to ask, how can plants process such complex information without a brain? The answer lies in how they store and use that information over time. So far we've seen how plants communicate, defend themselves, and adapt through chemicals, vibrations, and underground networks. But there's a discovery that challenges our understanding even further: the ability of plants to detect emotional changes in living beings. In the 1970s, researcher Cleve Baxter conducted a groundbreaking experiment. He connected electrodes from a polygraph, that device used to detect lies, directly to a plant's leaves. What he discovered was remarkable. Plants responded to emotional changes with measurable variations in their electrical conductivity. Baxter observed that when someone approached the plant with the intention to harm it, the electrodes recorded spikes in activity. But when the person approached with peaceful thoughts, the response was different. He even documented that plants seemed to react to traumatic events nearby, as if they could perceive emotional stress in the environment. This finding suggests that plants don't just respond to physical or chemical stimuli, but could be sensitive to emotional states. Although the exact mechanism is still debated in the scientific community, these results raise fascinating questions. Just how deep is plant sensitivity, really? This capacity for electrical response leads us to our final discovery: even more compelling evidence that plants possess memory, a type of memory that persists, that learns, and that changes the way we must understand life itself. Throughout this series, we have seen how plants communicate, defend themselves, and adapt to their environment. But there is a fundamental question many ask: do plants actually remember? The answer is yes, and science has proven it in remarkable ways. One of the most fascinating experiments comes from researcher Stefano Mancuso. one of the leading authorities in plant neurobiology, working with the Mimosa pudica, a plant known for closing its leaves when touched. Mancuso made a revolutionary discovery. He repeatedly dropped the pot containing the plant, creating vibrations and movement. At first, the mimosa closed its leaves as a defensive response. But after several impacts, something extraordinary happened. The plant stopped closing its leaves. Why? Because it had learned to differentiate between a harmless fall and a real threat. The plant memorized the vibration pattern and decided it was not dangerous. Most remarkably, this memory persisted even after 2 months without repeating the experiment. The mimosa remembered. This behavior fits perfectly into the scientific definition of intelligence: the ability to solve problems and adapt to the environment. Plants have no brain or central nervous system, but their cells are connected through chemical signal systems that function like an information processing network. Without neurons, they achieve what seems impossible: learning, remembering, and anticipating the future. This capacity for plant memory invites us to completely reconsider our understanding of the natural world. Plants are not passive beings waiting for water and light. They are dynamic, thinking organisms that store information from the past to survive in the present. If you have been fascinated by discovering the hidden intelligence of plants, do not miss the next episodes in this series. Subscribe to the channel and share this knowledge with your community.